Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today we are heading to the Grand Canyon and then our final destination of Disneyland. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, it's the morning. We got to get going, so we're just going to get going. We're heading to the Grand Canyon. We're going to need to charge up just outside of the Grand Canyon. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. All right, everybody, here's the plan. 2 hours and 6 minutes, 140 miles. Arrive at 6:41, 23% state of charge. Let's go. All right, everybody, we stopped, grabbed an Arizona mug, got some Starbucks, and now we're heading off to the Grand Canyon. I did want to show everybody it is cold outside, so hopefully no battery overheating this time. GM dip, see you later. All right, everybody, 85.7 miles. I actually forgot, I messed up and forgot to reset when we left the hotel, but whatever. 3 miles per kilowatt hour, hour and 22 minutes of driving, 25% on arrival. We're gonna charge up and then head to the Grand Old Canyon. All right, so we're here right outside of Grand Canyon at the visitor center, which is, I think, a great spot. The only problem is it opens at 9, which is a little unfortunate, but whatever. There was a Texaco we could walk over to. There's a Starbucks. I'm not sure how late the Texaco's open, whether it's 24 hours or not, but I was able to go in there. I didn't see anything that said you couldn't use the restroom, so you could go there if you needed to. The prices were a little steep on some of the drinks, at least $1 more than I would expect elsewhere. But anyways, gonna go check on the car, see how everybody's doing. And here's the visitor center, everybody. Looks nice, and it has this like giant Pizza Hut Express. So if you really like Pizza Hut Express, this is the place for you. Looks like pretty good amount of parking, line parking, and then down here, there's the Electrify America, 6 units. All right, everybody, we're charging up here. We're just waiting on my brother, and then we're gonna leave, so I figured I'd leave it plugged in, save us time later. It's only been 35 minutes. We've added almost 70% of the battery, which if you think about it, that's 10 to 80 in almost 35 minutes. So really great charging session here. Maybe we just gotta come charge at the Grand Canyon all the time. 61 kilowatt hours added. Currently getting 41 kilowatts. We know that's slow at this state of charge, so not a big deal. And $25, 42 cents per kilowatt hour, not bad. Really great charging stop. Actually, let me, before we're done, let me show you around the site. There's 6 units. 4 of them are balanced, and then 2 are actually dedicated. So if you come to the Grand Canyon, you're gonna wanna pay attention to this. So this one's balanced and it's working. This one's balanced and it's working. This one's balanced and it says charge, it has an error, so I don't know if they could fix that. This one's balanced. And then lastly, these 2 over here, these bad boys, as I like to say, are not balanced. So these are completely dedicated. And this one's also completely dedicated. So if you wanted to come charge here, I would highly recommend to come to the 2 on the end, which are charger 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6 are balanced. Regardless, you're gonna get a good charge. There's lots to do here. That general store we went to, that's all the way over there, was really awesome. A lot of cool souvenirs in there, drinks, whatever you'd wanna need, food, grocery supplies. There's a chocolate factory. And then of course we got the visitor center right here, which is not open, which is unfortunate. The big ding I have to give this place is just the fact that there's no 24-hour restrooms, except for maybe the gas station, but I'll check that later. Here's some kind of boat. Exact replica of the boat used by John Wesley Powell in his historic voyage through the Grand Canyon. Very cool. Here, let me actually show you the boat. You can't really see it. There it is. All right, let's get to the Grand Canyon. Everybody, this is crazy. I'm getting Super Cruise in a national park, and I can't even get Super Cruise in my hometown. Like, what's that about? But anyway, super cool. And at least the roads are good in the park, so can't complain about that. My brother's up ahead in his Tesla, the refresh, and we're gonna go see the Grand Canyon. Let's go. All right, we're walking to this viewpoint of the Grand Canyon. Let's get there. All right, everyone, that was a fun time at the Grand Canyon. We were here for about an hour. We definitely could have stayed way longer, but obviously we're heading to California, so we'll have to plan a trip where we're here for a little bit more time. But it was a fun time. Got to stamp my National Park book. My son got one. We got to stamp his, so grand old time. Lots of good pictures, lots of good video. Let's go see Mickey. Okay, so it says we're gonna make it to Kingman at 20% state of charge, so awesome. Good thing we charged up enough. Now we don't have to stop anywhere too close to where we are. Let's get going. Okay, everyone, we're stopping here in Seligman, Arizona, 101.5 miles, 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, 43 minutes driving, and we arrived with 55% state of charge. We're not charging here. We're just gonna go check it out.
Right? Maybe it'll change sometime.
Okay, you wanna go stand?
We are back on the road. Seligman was super cool. If you didn't know, Seligman is the town that inspired Radiator Springs. Thank you very much, Tractor Trailer. Inspired Radiator Springs from the classic movie Cars. Wow. That's just incredible. So super cool. You can definitely see where they got some ideas from, and we walked into some souvenir shops and got Route 66 magnet. It's super cool. And now we're on the way to Los Angeles. We are gonna stop in Kingman, Arizona. That is where our charging stop is, and we're actually going to a supercharger, which is located at the same spot as the Route 66 Historic Museum. So we're gonna check that out as well. So fun day ahead of us, and then of course we're gonna be going to Disneyland for our nightcap and the, what's it called? Paint the Night Parade, which I'm very excited for. So, and maybe a Winnie the Pooh stuffy. So let's get on the road. We have arrived in Kingman, Arizona, 73.4 miles, 3.1 mile per kilowatt hour, 1 hour driving. And then this is actually from the top from when we were at the Grand Canyon, 174.9 miles, 3.4 mile per kilowatt hour, 28% state of charge left, so plenty of charge left to go. The battery's cooled down a little bit, but I still think it's gonna overheat. Let's see what happens. All right, we're all plugged in. Hopefully charging activated soon. Charging activated. Let's go see how we're doing inside. Let's see it ramp up here. 60, 75, 89. Looking good. I'm just gonna set this at 100. We're gonna go get lunch, and if we get more than we need, then we get more than we need. So, all right, good enough for me. Let's go get some lunch. All right, everybody, we ate at Mr. D's in Kingman, and look what's out front. They have a commuter car. Like, how cool is that? Electric car. Super cool. We're done here in Kingman, Arizona. Super cool. Now we're heading to Barstow, California. Says we'll ride with 5%. We have some bailout options along the way, so I'll determine whether or not we'll need that. But I think we'll be all right. We'll see how it goes. 3 hours and 11 minutes, 204 miles, and then we'll basically just have to go right on down into Anaheim. And Mickey, here we come. We have made it to California. 203.3 miles, 2.7 mile per kilowatt hour. Super awesome. Here we are, we arrived 14%, so way more than it thought we were gonna arrive with. The battery is hot, so we're probably gonna have a little bit of overheating. That's all right, not the end of the world. Hoping to charge up enough here to actually make it to the hotel. If I can make it with like, I would say 30%, I'd be happy, even 25. If not, then we'll do a quick top off somewhere just so we have enough for me to feel comfortable leaving the car for a couple of days. So let's go ahead and get plugged in. All right, I think these have Magic Dock enabled. Ooh, maybe they don't. Let me see. Okay, that's fine. Let me go grab my adapter. All right, everybody, all plugged in using my A to Z adapter. When I went to activate, it said to unlock the dock. So maybe these just, you have to wait for the app, or I don't know, but whatever. We're plugged in, we're charging. Let's see what speeds we're getting. The battery is warm, so I suspect that it'll overheat. We're getting 140 kilowatts, that's awesome. We're gonna go ahead and go use the restroom somewhere. All right, everybody, while I'm charging, I'm gonna take you around this charging station. There are good things, there are bad things. But first off, the number one good thing is 120 stations, 120 charging dispensers, and they work for any of the OEMs that have the deal with Tesla. At this point in time, I went to try and do the, unlock this. Now I will say, in the app, it says to unlock the dock, but I had already used my adapter at that point in time, so it's fine. But yeah, so 120, awesome. They're lit. They have canopies with solar panels. Ton of solar panels, lots of solar panels. All of the areas have trash can recycling nearby. Here are all the accessible spots. There's actually some level 2 over there and over there. There's a Camry parked there for, I don't know why. There's plenty of parking elsewhere. You can see how nice the shade is. And then I wanted to show you, because it's kind of fun, the solar inverters. I think they've got an inverter over here. Let me walk over here. And if you don't know this about me, I actually have solar. So I'm a big fan of that. Oh, here's one. So here's the inverter. They have, so this system, I'm assuming it's just this system, is 87 kilowatts. Okay. And they're on. It's not really sure how much it's producing now, but pretty impressive. And I assume they're probably all the same, which is cool. And again, it's nice to be in the shade here. As soon as I walk in the sun, it's like, ugh, melting alive. All right, so we're gonna, oh, actually, before I do that, there's lots of amenities around here, but the only real bathroom is the Circle K, but you gotta buy something, which is fine. And I think that's super reasonable that Circle K wants you to buy something to get the PIN code. That's super cool. So you just go in, buy a drink or something, and then they'll give you the PIN, go use the bathroom, and then you're good to go. It's, things aren't free in life, and it's their water and electricity and toiletries and staffing to clean the bathroom. So I think it's totally reasonable that you have to buy something. So I'm cool with that. So this is a really cool site. There are no cameras focused on the area, which is kind of a negative in my opinion. So I think Tesla could do something about that, especially with all the cable issues. I'm shocked that there's no cameras around here, but it is what it is. All right, well, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, get in the car, cool off a little bit, and then once we have, I don't know, I'd like to get the 20% on arrival, and then we can see, and there is a charger on the way to the resort where we could just plug in if we had to, but I don't know. So let's get in the car, cool off, and I'll kind of make a decision in a bit. All right, everyone, we are dipping big time. Says we'll arrive with 19%. I'd like to get that up to like 25 and then I'll be good. It's at 25%. I'm gonna let it tick over to 80 because why not? And then I'm gonna go ahead and unplug. We made it, 110.4, 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, 1 hour and 54 minutes. Total trip, 2,828.2 miles. We arrived 46% state of charge. What a trip. I'll sum it up later. Okay, so it's a few days later and I can finally wrap this video up. We've already been to Disney and stuff, had a really great time, but let me kind of wrap up my thoughts about the trip. In general, it was a great trip. Very little issue, honestly. The biggest issue I found was the battery getting too hot and then not being able to cool down. Now, what I was able to find was if I turned on, if I had just done a charging session, it's really hot outside. If I turned on the battery preconditioner already, the manual, you can do it manually inside the menu on the infotainment, that would cool the battery down to about 31 to 33 degrees, which would help mitigate some things. I did a few tests where I did and didn't do it, and if you let the car do it itself with the on route, it doesn't get it quite cold enough. It does start to cool it down, but it starts at 30 minutes and you really need like probably an hour for it to actually cool down. And if it's not hot enough, say like when you go to start it, it's like the battery's like 32, 33 degrees Celsius. It actually I observed it not kicking on at all, which is kind of proving my thoughts all along, where the cooling system for the Equinox just isn't quite tuned well, and so that makes me think that they could probably fix it with software updates, but it is definitely not great right now, and traveling in extreme heat is not impossible. It's hard. Tops our whole trip because of the battery overheating, because of charging and it being hot outside. We maybe lost an hour for the whole trip, for 2,800 some miles across the country. So really not the end of the world, but it would be nice if they could tweak it a little bit so we don't have to deal with those sorts of issues. And also it would be healthier for the battery too. Aside from that, it was a great trip. Saw lots of cool things along the way. The Grand Canyon was gorgeous. Hopefully you all saw that. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend you go. It's very beautiful. And it's a cool little area as well. And yeah, I just glad we did it. It's not an easy trip, but I think we broke it up enough on the way out, and on the way back we're breaking it up with an extra day to make it a little bit easier as well. So that's all I have for today. I hope you all can catch us on our way back. That will probably be a 4 or 5 video series as well that I'll release over time. For that route, we're actually going to go the north route, and we're going to go up through Vegas, stop at the Chef truck. Chef's one of my favorite movies, so I've wanted to do that for a long time. And I've been to Vegas before, though. And then traveling across Colorado on I-70, hitting every single IANA site, and then, of course, making it home. So I hope you all can join us for that as well. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you all next time.